So in this video, I want to walk you through the number one shift that you can implement immediately in your life, whether you're a student, an entrepreneur, a business owner, an employee, or you're looking for the next thing to do in your life. I want to give you this because I discovered this accidentally when I was building my businesses over the last 15 years. I've been a full-time entrepreneur for over 15 years. I run a portfolio business that does close to $30 million a year at the time of this video and growing steadily. And one of the things that you notice in life in general is that there's very few people to actually guide you and mentor you, especially at specific stages of your growth. And I hope that this video really resonates with you, because once you understand this shift, it can completely transform literally your life. So let's get into this. What is this number one shift? Well, the shift is really understanding that wherever you are in life, you are an investor. You're not just a student, you're not just an employee, you're not just an entrepreneur. You are an investor. And even if you don't have any money right now to invest, you are an investor, because you invest your time, your focus, your energy, your relationships, and everything you do in life, right? You invest your health, maybe. And so when I was growing up, and I grew up in Switzerland, trained as a professional athlete. My goal was to become a professional tennis player. And so I was taught from a very young age the importance of investing in the right foods, the right sleeping patterns, the right equipment, the right training, the right coaches. And when I transitioned into business in 2007, after getting injured and retiring from pro tennis, I noticed that a lot of the things I picked up in pro sports actually translated very well to pro business in this case. And one of them being the investment that you need to make to actually reach your goals. So coming back to you are today an investor, and maybe no one told you this until now. This might be the first time you actually open this door. Like, what? I'm an investor? I'm just a student? I'm just an employee? Yes, you are an investor, because every day you wake up and you invest your time, your energy, your focus, your resources, and maybe your money if you're an entrepreneur in this case. So I really want you to realize that you are an investor. And even if you're broke right now, you have zero, or you're in debt, you still are an investor. Now, I'm gonna give you also a few tips and things that have worked for me in my life to really help you implement things overnight after watching this video. So, number one is understanding that you either invest your time, right, or your money. Ultimately, those are the two resources that we have to invest, right? Either your time, and when we talk about focus and energy, we'll put that in the time category, or you invest your money, right? And so depending on where you are in your growth at the moment, or your present situation, you either have a lot of time and usually less money, or a lot of money and less time. Some people have both. The goal ultimately has to be both, having a lot of free time and a lot of money. That's how I view things. That's how I've built my businesses. That's how I run my portfolio business. The goal for me is, yes, to make money, as much money as I can, because I'm in business to make money, but also it must give me freedom and the ability to do what I want. So think of those two things, right? Now, coming back to the idea that you are an investor, I'll give you a very concrete example. So when I was growing up, this was very early in my business career, right after retiring from tennis. This was around 2007, 2008. I didn't have money. I literally did not have money to invest. So the only thing I had to invest, the only asset that I could invest, was my time and my energy and my focus and all that, right? So I had to be very creative. And so I remember that we were trying, so at the time I was running what became an agency. So I'm even reluctant to call it an agency, very honestly, because at the beginning I didn't even know that you could open an agency just from your laptop right now, like you can at the moment, right? And so I was trying to get clients and trying to do online marketing, and this is 15 plus years ago, trying to do marketing for companies, local companies, restaurants and other businesses. And so I had no idea that that actually is a marketing agency. So now you've probably heard about, running an agency, SMMA and all those things, but 15 years ago, it was revolutionary. And so because I didn't have money to invest, I had to literally go and allocate a lot of time to prospecting, right? To reaching out to clients. And so initially I did everything. I did the prospecting, so I was prospecting. I was trying to warm up leads. I was trying to convert those leads. So that taught me about sales. I had to teach myself sales and closing and prospecting and filtering leads and following up. Email marketing to follow up with those leads, and then conversion, so collecting money, dealing with payment processors, which is a nightmare, by the way. Then delivery, right? Client management. How do you manage not just one client, but 2, 5, 10, 15 clients that you need to build websites for? Then fulfillment, right? It's very easy to fulfill for one client, but what happens when you have, like I said, 10 clients, right? Even email exchanges with clients become difficult. So all those things ultimately taught me I had to learn through doing things. And so the more money I was making throughout the business career that I've now built, the less time I had to invest and the less I had to put in time to get to my goal. So we all start out initially, if you're like me, we usually start with with a lot of time, but very little money. So more time than money. And so if you're in that position, you need to make sure that you invest your time doing the right things. So think of everything you do on a day-to-day basis. Are you investing your time, your focus, your energy in something that can grow, something that can get you to where you want to go in life? If you wake up every morning hating what you do, whether it's your job or even running a business that you hate, whatever the case, maybe you're studying, maybe you hate your studies, you have to make sure that you actually enjoy what you're doing. You don't need to love what you do, but you actually need to not hate it. And it needs to give you hope for the future. And yes, it's very important to embrace the process, and there's going to be things that are challenging, and you're going to have to go through a period of difficulty when you're learning everything, especially if you're new. But ultimately, you have to be confident that once you've paid your dues, once you've gone through the process, that the future is brighter than what you're going through right now. So again, keep in mind, you are an investor. And so the question to you is, are you investing your time, your focus, your energy in the right things, in the right relationship, in the right professional activities, in the right studies, in the right skill set, right? And the reality is, the only person that can really answer that question is you, because you feel it. You feel it in your gut. Is this something that you like doing? Is it something that you think you can succeed at in the future, right? And again, this is not about having a lot of money. This is about understanding that you have 50% of the equation. If you have no money, you have time, right? And once you have gone through the process and paid your dues, you will actually have money that you can then deploy to accelerate what comes in phase 2 of a business career, which is projects that you want to deploy. Businesses you want to start, things you want to invest in, charities you want to help, things you want to build. And so phase 1 of any growth is really understanding that you are investing a key element of what you have in life, which is time. And phase 2 is, once you have money, you need to make sure that you use that money wisely. That's a topic for another video. But it will give you things that you don't understand right now, which is the ability to enter markets very quickly. I'll give you an example. Today, my biggest problem is finding time. I have put myself in a position now where I can pick and choose what I want to do, what I don't want to do in life, where I want to go, what I want to buy, not buy, invest, not invest in, start a business or stop a business. And so I have full freedom to do whatever I want for the rest of my life. And that's great. I've worked very hard to put myself in that position. And so right now, when I want to enter a new market, I'm lucky, fortunate, that I can decide to put 10, 50, 100,000 or $500,000 in a venture and grow faster than I could if I had to go through the trenches and go through, what I had to go through at the beginning of my career, which was doing everything myself, right? Now, when I deploy money in a new venture, I can hire good people. I can hire a director. I can hire a marketing officer. I can hire customer support. I can hire someone to do market research for me. So those things are the result of putting in the time and the effort when I didn't have the money, right? So, and ultimately, we're both still investing those two things that we have, right? Time, which again, focus, discipline, your health. If you wake up very early and you have a physical job, you're also investing your health in what you do. And then once you've gone through that, you've accumulated enough money, then you actually can invest money and skip ahead of a lot of people who have to go through that. And so if you don't have money now, it's fine. You have to understand that you have to go through process stage A, which is doing the work, right? And then I'll end this video with the notion or the idea that the less money you have, the more creative you have to be to find potential business partners, to convince your first clients, to convince people to maybe give you funding. So you need to come up with creative ideas, because you can't just drop, like I said, 50K or 100K in a new venture and hire good people and build a team literally within a few weeks and launch a new product or a new business. So you need to be more creative. And so ultimately, my view of entrepreneurship is that the most creative person or people win. And so it's up to you to come up with ways to get around and accelerate your success by trying to spend the least amount of time in stage one, right? Because some people get stuck in stage one for years. You want to get done with stage one, where you actually accumulate money as fast as possible to then be able to deploy and reinvest in the same business or in a new venture. And then ultimately the solution to that is understanding that you will need to be creative in finding avenues to solve the problems you have. And so maybe you'll need to travel to meet potential business partners. Maybe you'll have to convince people to come on board and join the company with you. Maybe you'll have to split the company with someone else, and they provide the funding and you provide the hard work, right? So you'll have to be creative, but ultimately you are an investor. You invest your time, your focus, your health, your mental bandwidth, and then ultimately the goal is to get to invest money, because that's the fun part, is when you can actually see, okay, I have 5 business ideas, I can invest between $20,000 and $50,000. I'm gonna invest in these 2 businesses and see how things go in the next 6 months. That's ultimately the goal, and that's what I wish that you accomplish in life. That's it for this video. Think about that. Drop me a comment in the comments below if you have any questions or comments, and give me your feedback about what are you investing in. Is it time, focus, money? And I'll talk to you in the next video.